This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is the IT and the D Show. This show is broadcasting live from Detroit Sound Studios above Activate Gaming and is part of the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Hey, this is John Snyder from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D Show.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit?
Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Dig, you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D. Dear me.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly. Come on. Someone tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to IT in the D Show. Wax on, you know what.
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei!
You're not very informative, but wow, are you entertaining.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds!
Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd?
I'm a geek, not a nerd.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump Pump. IT in the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
I was banging on the wang. Skeptical Dave is skeptical.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, a tit striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
This show is broadcasting live from Detroit.
Welcome back. Thank you for listening. This is the August 10th edition of the IT and the D Show, episode 104. We are hanging out in the Detroit Sound Studios right above Activate Gaming in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan, and we are proud to be part of the Podcast Detroit Network. This is Bob, the sales guy.
We should be proud to be a part of it. We started it.
Humble beginnings. This is Bob, the sales guy. That's Dave the Geek here with Nuri, the FNG. Find us online, itandthed.com. Give us a like on the Facebooks, /ITandthed. Follow us on Twitter. Do we have Pinterest yet?
I thought you set one up.
No, not Pinterest. I said Instagram. I set up /ITandthed.
No. Andrea, you want to set us up a Pinterest account? Because we're never going to set one up.
Snapchat all your photos to IT and the D.
Setting that up please hold. We have a great show today. We have the co-CEOs of online technologies in studio, Mike Klein, Jan Ness. Long history with these guys. Should be a great conversation. And we have our favorite recruiter today, Andrea Kress here from formerly CompuWare, now Lockbridge.
The artist formerly known as CompuWare.
Right. Talking about what in the hell is Lockbridge and how can we save the planet. But no, we'll be talking about the Pink Slip Party coming up. Speaking of which, we have an event, 8/20, this Thursday at the Huma Room, Hopcat.
Dude, it's the 10th, next Thursday.
20th.
Yes.
You messed up too.
When?
It's the 10th.
No, it's the 10th.
Today
is the 10th.
Right.
The party is the 20th. The event is the 20th.
Oh, so
that's next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I
no,
said.
I didn't mess up.
That's
So
what I
you said this Thursday.
No, next Thursday at the Huma Room, which is Hopcat, Detroit, Midtown. They got like 80 beers on tap. It's an awesome place. And then don't forget the Pink Slip Party, the twice-a-year event, is coming to the Majestic in September. That is the 17th.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave. We'll be talking about that more in a little bit. But for now, speaking of you calling me out, Dave, I want to officially call you out for, typically you are the go-to for 80s, as I think I am too, for music, movies, genre. And you've officially,
over the last show?
You've officially lost your 80s movie card, man card, whatever you want to call it.
Because I forgot Boom Boom Boom.
No, not that at all.
Oh.
For recommending the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Tough Turf is a great movie.
No.
Kiss my ass.
So Dave puts out Tough Turf, how great of a movie it is. It's starring James Spader, right? And it's starring Iron Man.
Right, it's Iron Man and Ultron before they
Right.
It's like 84, 85. It's, Kim Richards before she was the Real Real Housewives of Hollywood or whatever the hell it is.
Started a gang fight on 10 speeds. It was one of the worst. I'm not going to lie. It was probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Clearly you haven't seen Fantastic Four yet because that's getting rave reviews.
Actually, they just re-released it. There's a 1994 Fantastic Four movie that came out. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, which was better.
Oh, I watched a half hour of it today. Oh, it's way better. Tough Turf, though, seriously, I couldn't imagine a worse movie in my life.
Dude, it has all of the quintessential elements of your awesome 1980s flick. It has the bad boy that wants to be good. It has the good guy that wants to be bad. It has the mixing of worlds where they go to they're from the wrong side of the tracks now, and so they go to the Beverly Hills thing. There's the impromptu dance off that happens at every high school event that I ever went to. I don't know about you.
Had a gang fight on a 10-speed. I can't take him
and got his ass kicked by a car antenna.
And everybody learned a valuable lesson about love.
Right. And they were supposed to wind up together. They wound up together. Life was good.
If you want to get 1 hour and 41 minutes of your life back that you'll never have again, the full movie's on YouTube. I actually sat through this, and I highly recommend it. And another thing...
Clearly, obviously, too.
One of the other... So let me ask you a question real quick. When something happens that's viral on the internet, whether it be Facebook or social media or whatever, what's the shelf life before everyone hates it?
Depends. It depends on how overblown it gets.
Because the whole the NWA Straight Outta Compton movie comes out.
Oh, that lasted a day and a half, and I want to.
I don't even think it went that long because you can go to straightoutofsomewhere.com and you could make your own tag straight out of whatever for your pictures.
And it was Dre and the whole Beats by Dre thing, and it was I mean, it was even his company doing it, and yet it still fall down, go boom because everyone just beat the ever-living hell out of
I don't even think it lasted a day before people wanted to kill people for posting them.
So did you see the movie? I saw the previews. They look.
I have to go see it eventually.
Yeah, it looks like it's an awesome movie, but...
It reminds me of when I was in 91, I remember going to see Boys in the Hood and smoking cigars in the theater because we were bad, Oh,
hey, all I know is this validates my Straight Outta Comp size shirts that I had made for the December event that you mocked me mercilessly over.
Nerds with attitude.
Yeah, exactly. Straight Outta Comp side, nerds with attitude.
The only one that I saw that was remotely even made me go, huh, was Mark made Roddy Piper straight out of bubblegum from They Live. And I'm like, all right. The rest of them were just super downhill. But I'm like, it's funny because it went viral and it did what it was supposed to do, but did it backfire because people hated it so much they were going to refuse to go see the movie, right?
Oh no, I don't think it'll keep people from seeing the movie. I mean, it's the movie has way too much momentum at this point that it's. I'm curious to see how they do with it. I really, really am. I mean, just because we grew up in that era. I mean, we grew up when we weren't. I've got my explicit lyrics content. Now I got my NWA cassette hidden under my bed so my parents don't find it.
I remember vividly with my permit. I'm 15 years old, driving in my father's 1987 Lincoln V8. And with the bad Bose, it was a Grundig, or I'm sorry, I'm trying to think, Blaupunkt.
Right.
Cassette deck, big heavy speakers, and I put F the Police in that car. And the look on my father's face, and I'm 15 years old. And so we were at the funeral in Chicago, and I'm telling my whole family this story, and I'm like, I remember playing Two Live Crew at family picnics. I go, my kids now, if they even swear, I'm going nuts. Here's my father just whatever, just let the kid play his rap music, And now this stuff's come full circle.
Bobby, he's listening to the rap again.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's the rap.
But now this crap's come full circle. We're like, it's kind of like Star Wars, and I'm going to take my child to it, my father before me.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with I don't want to take my kid to see NWA, but I'm like, God, I grew up on this crap. I almost got to share it with him.
I don't know that I would take your 11-year-old.
No, that's not happening.
To go see Compton.
No, but it's weird. With Woodward Dream Cruise coming up, all these classic cars. We were talking about this
where there are already people in lawn chairs.
It was Sunday. I was
on
driving
the side of Woodward.
Sunday
Kiss my ass,
yes.
go home.
Yes.
Could you imagine though? I did the math. With me having my 76 Caddy. Could you imagine your father having a 44 Oldsmobile? Because that's the math.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't happen. And then you see 1996 Trans Ams, and it's those should be classic, and they're garbage.
But they're not.
They're right. Yeah. It's you were the crap car I drove in high school. Kiss my ass, you suck. But our fathers never acted like that. They always appreciated it.
Yeah. So speaking of call-outs, Bob, I feel like I have to do a little bit of a public service here. So, Bob, I think I've discovered, as we all know, Bob, for the good of his knees, for the good of his liver, for the good of his children, he has taken a little break from drinking. And
it's gone public now?
It has. We've talked about it on the show before.
I know.
I can do it.
But I think I found the fatal flaw in your plan. So your goal was basically to not drink until you have a Cisco event out in Vegas at the end of August.
Yep.
Something clicked with me today. You've told me that at those events out in Vegas, there are usually 5, 6, 8 people that are no longer with Cisco after those events.
And a 0.
Yeah, that are no longer with Cisco after those
usually
events.
30 to 50.
Yeah. So you're going to hit that Cisco event having not drank for 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the light's going to turn green, and you're going to immediately want to go back to Party Bob mode.
I just had 4 shots of Jägermeister.
And the tolerance isn't going to be there to allow you to be Party Bob without, say, carrying you up to your bedroom at 10:30 at night.
Now I report to my boss's boss, but I didn't get a promotion, so you figure that one out.
Right. So how is that going to work out for you?
I'm going to have a couple scouts looking after the well-being of...
You going to pay the new kids?
No, exactly.
Here's $50. Make sure I'm good.
Right. I'll be at because the way it works in Vegas, it's kind of like home. The first place you go is I'm going to go to the Hard Rock, go to the Round Bar.
Right.
And then you go to then you start going closer to your hotel.
Yeah.
You might hit. I'm at the Venetian, so maybe I'll hit the place next door. And then by the time it's 1 a.m, I'm at the bar right next to my elevator. Right. And then so I have to
stagger upstairs and life's
good. The whole thing's plotted out, but there's going to be 20,000.
Salespeople?
Oh,
God.
In under one roof.
So I felt like I had to voice that concern because that clicked with me today, and I'm like, aha.
Oktoberfest is coming, so I have to prep somehow, and that's going to be you either dive in feet first, or you don't. I'm not going to dip.
Are we doing Frankenmuth this year? We haven't really talked about
that.
There's
a new German place in Taylor that we must hit.
Oh, that's right, the beer
Keller.
Yeah, beer Keller. Yeah.
So Nuri brought up an article, basically an article that blew his mind. About everyone, when you go through, I've been blowing through phones now almost every year, and there was a study came out when the people that throw their phones away, what's being found, even though they think they're doing a factory reset.
Well, it's not even throwing your phone away. I mean, how many of you guys have basically, I've got last year's model, I'm going to resell it on Craigslist. I think I've resold every phone I've ever owned.
Or I'm going to send it back as a part of the upgrade process.
Right.
To God knows whatever flunkies working their help desk grabbing phones. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, Avast took 20 phones that they bought on Craigslist, all Android phones, that had been security wiped. So people, you think you security wipe your phone back to factory default, so all those pictures you took and sent to people are gone.
No, they're not.
So basically, out of the 20 phones that they found 750 pictures of women in various states of undress, 250 pictures of male genitalia, 1,500 photos of children, text messages, email addresses, Google certificates for logging into mail.
My favorite, though, the fully completed and saved credit applications.
Oh.
On a phone?
Yep.
Yeah, I filled out that loan application for my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So basically, the article said that you have to destroy your phone.
Yeah, you put a bullet through your hard drive, you put a bullet through your phone. That's how this goes.
I have a shoebox with like every phone I ever had, starting at the Nokia.
Dude, I keep mine.
Yeah,
because you never know when when a phone dies, you're like, oh crap, wait, I can call and have the old one activated while I'm waiting for the replacement phone to show up. I'm a genius.
So Bob, I wonder what pictures on that first phone you had from 7 years ago.
You know what? The pixelation.
You ever gone back and looked?
The pixelation is probably so bad it wouldn't matter.
He actually has ASCII boobs on his first phone that he has. Is what he has.
Is that a finger? Is that a toe? I can't tell.
I was pointing. What?
But no, speaking of the whole exchanging phones and all that stuff, I mean, Verizon came out and said they're basically, and it was weird how they did it. The headline of the article was, "We're making it easier for you to get data and phones and plans and all that stuff." Because it was, the small, medium, large. You can buy a phone like you buy a T-shirt, yada, yada, yada. And that's great and all. But then you read it, and what's really happening is they're getting rid of your ability to not pay as much for a phone. Like they're getting rid of it's getting back to you're going to pay $600 for a new phone. There's no more Verizon Edge. There's no more, any of
carrier
that nonsense.
Subsidies, basically.
Yeah,
right?
there's no more subsidies or, even payment plans on your phone. You want a new phone, you're shelling out $600, which again, we all know how ridiculous it is for a new cell phone, from like the real cost. But it's, that was kind of buried in that announcement that a lot of people are missing. It was like, oh, great, it's easier to get data. It's easier to get data. Read paragraph 3.
They're just following the AT&T plan.
And T-Mobile, right? T-Mobile said that.
I mean, they're just the last one in.
And they just stopped. I just noticed because I used to do my WebExes on the road,
right?
And now I can't do my data plan while I'm on the phone. Then I Google why, because every good person, when you have a problem, should Google it first, right? Like I always say. And basically, you have to buy HD service now. It's kind of like when I lost Fox Soccer Channel, and now it's a $15 a month upgrade. I'm like, kiss my ass. You used to give it to me for nothing.
Right.
And how the hell,
Yeah, my old phone had it. The phone I just had did this because I had that with this phone. When I had the old Droid 4, it worked. Like I could, when I was on the phone, I could still get emails, texts, all that kind of stuff. Now all of a sudden with this one, no, you couldn't unless you upgrade your service.
So did you hear the crap from HTC?
Oh God.
You know what? Not only did I hear it, but I sat there and laughed because this is another one.
I called that.
Dude,
we all called it.
Like when it first came out, you can use your finger to unlock your phone. It was like, great. You know what? That's going to be in a database somewhere, and so it's one more mechanism for people to find out more biometric data about you. I was like, oh no, it's going to be encrypted and stored.
Every Apple guy loved it, and every Android guy hated it.
Yeah, and nobody
it was almost in full consensus.
Yep. And so, guess what happened? HTC admits that every single fingerprint that's ever been scanned stored as clear text.
And even better, every time you scan your fingerprint, it updates the image. So basically, you get a nick. It's like, oh yeah, it's still your fingerprint. So let's keep a fresh copy of your fingerprint for people to steal in clear text.
I would never buy HTC anyway. It's like buying that off-brand at Best Buy. Just don't do it.
They used to be so good.
The Schwony.
Yeah. What is it? Hisense or whatever, like the Radio Shack brand.
Yeah, the one that Malcolm wants to give away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's the one that Funai makes and puts a dumb name on it.
I'm not going to lie. The one story that came out that I thought was particularly scary, especially as people are way too open with who they accept as Facebook friends and all that kind of stuff, and like our whole shtick we've always said. So like Twitter, I don't understand. Like I don't get it, whatever. But like Twitter's like a phone number. If you find me on Twitter, shoot me a note. The worst case that's going to happen is I'm going to ignore you, just like if you called me. LinkedIn is like my office. if like it wouldn't be weird for you to call me at my office or like, hey, call me and say, hey, let's do lunch. Yes, we should be a LinkedIn connection.
And not to call you for your X-Plan number 5 times while you're in meetings.
Yeah, exactly. I so want to go off on that. True story. Facebook is like my virtual living room. Like if it wouldn't be weird for me to come home and find you in my living room, and I always like quantify that by saying it would like I wouldn't think it's weird, not you wouldn't think it's weird for you to be in my living room. Then yes, we should be Facebook friends. But people are like all about the numbers and the followers and the friends that they accept freaking anybody. Well, guess what? Facebook just patented a shiny, happy little algorithm that they're going to be selling to all the different financial institutions out there where your Facebook friends data will be calculated into your credit score.
Oh, God.
So, hang on. I read this. Explain to me how that's even possible.
So is that more friends, better credit?
No, it's so like if they have
right.
Exactly. So if they have credits, like I'm friends with Bob. There's a database somewhere that has Bob's credit score in it.
This is probably a +1, right? Being friends with Bob is probably a good thing.
Are you going to unfriend him to get a better credit score?
I might.
I think about all my friends back in my little hometown of Dade City, Florida, that I'm now going to unfriend if I want better credit. It's like,
guys, I'm going to buy a house. We'll reconnect in like 2 months.
But how is that relevant to like you buying stuff?
Because it's birds of a feather. That's their theory. How does your credit score have an impact on your insurance rating? And yet it does.
Birds of a feather stick your ass.
That's right. You are now being judged by Black Hawk Down, Bob. Just so you know.
He bought his house cash because thanks, Dad.
Well, there you go.
It's my neighbor. Anyway, it doesn't. I don't like. What happens if like? Now I gotta hang out at country clubs and crap so I can buy decent shit.
Exactly. You've got to hang out with Biff and Muffy.
I don't want to play tennis.
I friended Tom on MySpace. Does that give me any credit points?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to make new friends. But and speaking of deleting stuff, and this has come. We've talked about this once before, but it did come up again, so it's worth mentioning. It scares me because we've joked. I have the medical alert badge that says in case of death, please delete my browser history. Now deleting your browser history, it's an obstruction of justice charge.
You get more for deleting your browser history in prison than you do for murdering 20 people.
So what is using a safe mode or incognito mode? Is that the same thing? Am I going to go to prison for using incognito mode?
You get 20 years. You can get up to 20 years for deleting your browser history if you are convicted of a crime.
This is scary precedent.
It's yet again one of those like they throw as many charges as they can at you in certain circumstances, hoping that any of them will stick. And that's like the new RICO. I mean, that's like as far as trying to track down, and some I get it, trying to track down pedophiles and that kind of stuff. But just normal guy, you whatever. I want to look at you for insurance fraud or whatever else. You delete your browser history. That's an obstruction of justice charge.
I mean, what's the big deal if you go? If you're admissible in court that Dave likes fatchicksandpartyhats.com. I mean, you're gonna, it's like goes to it every day.
Who doesn't know that?
Right.
I'm new and I know that. I mean, come on.
We were talking about all the 1996 websites that were like the go-tos, like the I don't even know if they're still alive, like Consumption Junction, Steak and Cheese, and Fat Chicks and Party Hats. Like, are those still around? Because those were like the go-to
staple websites of the internet.
It was like the Reddit of bad things, like back in like '97.
You realize they just had 250,000 additional hits,
right? So, and I feel like, are you like, okay? Do you still have fireworks going off around your house?
No, I just have assholes driving down Woodward and the Dream Cruise a week early.
So my 8-year-old daughter was singing karaoke to it yesterday, and I almost pulled my hair out listening to it. The little I've left.
The firework?
Yeah,
nice.
She found a karaoke up on her iPod. I want to die. I'm not kidding. I'm seriously gonna.
So there's been a lot of debate about the whole fireworks in Michigan. Are they actually doing anything? You're only supposed to be able to light them off the day before, the day of, the day after a holiday. People are going way insane. Like we do. There's still fireworks going off around in our neighborhoods. But the hill that they might die on that surprises me is the little Chinese lanterns. Like, there's a whole to-do now where, okay, and I get it. You're lighting something on fire and then launching it off into the air.
I never got why that was a good idea,
burn,
to be honest.
to burn for an indeterminate amount of time.
Only in the summer, though.
Yeah, and then they land somewhere and
Still on
hope
fire.
the fire's out.
Indeterminate place.
Yeah, and so, but now, like, they're trying to ban those, and like all the fireworks little stand companies and all that stuff are like losing their minds because that's the majority apparently of their off-season business. And they're saying, well, clearly those are classified as fireworks, so they're protected under this, that, and that. So that's the hill that the firework companies might actually die on. Like when it comes to like fireworks in Michigan. Because they've got like case after case, like, it landed on somebody's house, it landed in an open field, lit it on fire.
Burned 1,000 acres of prime forest.
Right, burned a house
I
down.
almost hit my neighbor's house 2 years ago.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
No, I almost hit my neighbor's.
Yeah.
We have those 3-story tall houses. Yep. I let one go and the wind hit it, and it missed by maybe a foot. And he looked at me and he goes, I want to
use some.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like, he goes, if you didn't get that hose in your hand in 10 seconds. But those things can't.
That's the hill they might die on.
After that, I'll never touch one of those things again as long as I live.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
It's like shooting a gun into the sky. It is. You don't know where it's landing. It still could be dangerous when it falls.
Yeah.
Terrible.
As long as we do Roman candle fight still with the garbage can lid.
I do miss those days, I'm not going to lie.
Those were the... We used to light bottle rockets while we're driving out of a beer bottle.
Nice.
Yeah, again.
That you just finished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That was last summer.
Or yesterday.
Out of the category.
So, and I would be remiss. One of my favorite topics is always how are we going to wind up ending ourselves as a species? I get, the biochem degree. I get obsessed about like how the world is going to end and the stupid ways that we're going to end ourselves. And
Dave's every 3 month.
I do. I like The Stand. I get it like the Russians and anthrax, and they wiped out an entire town because somebody.
So what was the year 2000 like for you? I wonder.
Oh no, I was good with that because I was a computer guy. I knew that was complete bullshit. But no,
it was at GM rewriting the code.
I was absolutely. But no, so people in Colorado are dying of the plague.
That plague?
That plague.
The bubonic?
The one that took out 2/3 of Europe, 700 years ago, is apparently alive and well in Colorado now.
Those damn anti-vaxxers. Right. You got my plague vaccine.
And that's like, and this, it's one of those, like, oh yeah, we haven't seen a case of it in 10 years, and and all of a sudden now there's like 5 people dead in Colorado.
And a dog?
From there was there was a dog and a raccoon and like other animals that like have, it's there. Like this is the start of The Walking Dead. It's there.
Down south, they're saying that's God's wrath for legalizing that marijuana
and taking away our flag.
Exactly, getting them back.
And speaking of shelf life, where's all have you seen anybody post about the Confederate flag or Cecil the Lion in the last 3 days?
No, and thank God, I'm totally done with it.
Yeah, no. Anyone?
Yeah. What's next?
Yeah, exactly.
Do it's the Donald Trump Megan thing, basically. That is posting on now.
You know what though? There was got to end on a. That was a bad note. Let's end on a good note. There's a couple things going on in corporate. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
That's not good. That's a bad note. No,
it's like an A-.
There's some stuff that's going on in corporate America that I'm kind of applauding. And, like Cisco came out and said, you get your an extra day off a year for your birthday.
Ooh,
so, great. That's one thing. Adobe came out and kind of, I hope they set the standard where they're offering 6-month paid maternity leave to anyone that works for Adobe.
I think Netflix did the same thing, right?
They're just hoping to counteract all the backlash about Flash. That's all that is.
Is that what? Yeah.
Netflix has an unlimited plan. For maternity.
If anybody bitches about Flash and customer service, but we give 6 months.
Right.
No, but I think it's a good precedent because it's becoming an issue. It sincerely is. My wife in the medical profession was an issue for her. I hope they set a precedent because it's something that But then again, I even told my wife. I said, you get the first 3 months. Can I have the second 3 months? Like, you want equality? Let's do this right. It doesn't work that way, Bob. I'm like, damn it!
You got to carry the thing for 4.5 months.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, we're gonna be back, segment 2 with the co-CEOs of Online Technologies. This is the IT and the D Show, and we'll see you in a minute.
This show is broadcasting live from Detroit Sound Studios above Activate Gaming. and is part of the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Hey guys, it's Ty Mogg, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
If you're a reseller of IT solutions, the original equipment manufacturer should not be your strongest competitor. At Quantum, we understand the true meaning of partnership. We work with our channel to deliver industry-leading solutions together, all the time, not just when it's convenient for us. Heck, we don't even have a direct sales force. Quantum is looking for a few good partners. Call 586-745-4DXI to get started. That's 586-745-4394.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Welcome back. This is segment 2, episode 104 of the IT in the D Show, often imitated, never duplicated. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG with his brand new business cards. Find us online, itandthed.com, and hit us on the Facebooks, find us on the Twitters, and all that good, happy stuff. I think SoundCloud, give us a follow. Give us a review on iTunes for crying out loud. We have 7 reviews on iTunes, and that's just unacceptable.
And one of them's my mom.
And one of them is my wife. But honestly, it's actually a privilege to have these guys in studio. I got a long history with the company, but we have the co-CEOs, we're going to get to that in a minute, of Online Technologies based out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Mike Klein, Jan Ness. I appreciate you guys making the trek down here and hanging out with us in this
Good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun watching you guys.
Good. So, it's kind of like with, me and Dave when we started IT in the D, we took definitive roles, right? We're like, I'm the sales guy, you're the geek. Let me do me, you do you. But you guys are co-CEOs. How does that work? If somebody goes left and someone goes right, how do you guys meet in the middle? Or explain how that,
Usually arm wrestle.
Yeah, I like to swim. If you saw, Mike would win every arm wrestle we had.
Right.
So I'm not letting that happen. Sometimes it's kind of like parents. Employees go to one side, they don't get the answer they want. They go to the other parent, try to get a different answer.
Ask your mother.
He's like, I'm going to mom.
So who's the strict parent? Who's not the strict parent?
Well, it depends on who's asking the question. I mean, you got to keep them honest and thinking. So we flop the roles sometimes.
So what did Jan say?
I haven't asked him yet.
Yeah.
So, but now, we were talking in the.
He said I could go.
We were talking.
He said it was cool. It was good. It was cool with you.
Yeah. Right. But we were talking before the show, and there was a long history with myself and Online Technologies prior to you guys getting there, where I worked with you guys, back in 98, 90, selling you guys bandwidth. But your data centers, you had a small little data center then. You guys grown up a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a really, really neat story. So we bought this little Online Technologies Corporation ISP in July of 2003 at about 500 square feet of data center space, like 10 racks a gear. And we were buying bandwidth from you, by the way, for $90 a meg or something like that. Those were the good old days.
And it was after I left, so I never saw commission $1, but that's all right.
Yeah, right, sure, right. What about that motorcycle you got?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of
yeah, it's been a good ride since then. Did a couple acquisitions, a lot of organic growth. We did pick up a company in a data center up in mid Michigan near Flint. That kind of propelled us to the next level. Mike then joined in 08, propelled us to the next level, and a couple more transactions with Fortune 500 companies taking over their data centers that they didn't want anymore. We repurposed them, and here we are today. We sit with 4 data centers in Michigan, and our newest endeavor is branching out of Michigan, and one we just opened in Indianapolis.
Well, it's funny. We were, what's old is new again, and what you were buying back in '98 is now called cloud, right?
Back then it was called mainframe.
Shared services,
shared hosting,
as a
right?
service.
Yep. It's not consumption models now, but you guys are obviously at the forefront of cloud, and one of the things that, I always preach about in my day job is. That the IT department at companies like in manufacturing companies or anyone for that matter is you're a dying breed, because you can have a VP of sales right now with his Amex go hit AWS, stand up a cloud.
Oh, it's going to take you 6 months to build me out servers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Watch me do it in 20 minutes.
It's going to cancel my ticket.
So
that's assuming the sales guy can know what to do once he gets a cloud in AWS.
Exactly. So that's one of the things that I think is a huge advantage, is because you're buying from something that you completely don't know. You don't know what your gear's on. You don't know where your server. And I'm not competing against AWS. It is what it is, right? But here's you guys saying, hey, we're building this stuff in Michigan. It's sitting right here. If you still have those warm and fuzzies, you can come see my equipment, right? I mean, is that your pitch when you're going and sitting in front of people? Like, hey, it's in the cloud.
Yeah.
But if you want to come and rub elbows,
if you want to see the lights blinking, we have the lights blinking.
You want to see the cloud, you can touch the cloud.
Well, I think one of the analogies I use is banks. In the early 1900s, nobody trusted banks. They kept their cash in their house. And some of them trusted banks. They would go to the bank and they'd see how thick are the windows. Is there a guard out front, right? 7 by 24 guarded bank. And people took them a long time to trust banks. Then 1929 happened, and FDIC was created and all that, and that helped underwrite some of the risk. But even then, my great-grandfather, when he died, he was like 105. So he was born, in 1880s or something like that. He didn't trust banks when he died in 1970. He didn't want to put his money in a bank. Those damn things go away. I'm not giving them my cash. I keep it in my house, and right behind my guns.
So you had to Walter White and dig out all the oil drums full of cash in the backyard.
Yeah, well, man, the diamonds and the gold.
Yeah, don't get rid of that bookcase because between every single page there's a $100 bill. Yeah,
it's a $100 savings bond.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He would still write checks at Holiday Market today. I got it right.
Right, exactly right, with his driver's license number on the top. But yeah, so I mean, data's the same way, right? Now today, you'd be an idiot not to put $1 million cash or any value of cash in a bank. But the money doesn't sit there. You go to a Chase bank, you hand them a check, right? Your money's in some computer system somewhere, right? And
go ask them to somebody sends you a cashier's check for as little as 15 or 20 grand. Ask them to cash it.
I'd like to withdraw that in small bills, please.
Just ask them to cash it. Oh, you'll have to come back tomorrow. We have to place an order for. We don't keep. Right, a bank doesn't keep that much cash on hand anymore. What are you?
Right. I call them. They're trust centers.
Yeah.
They're like a little place you go and somebody. Well, that's the cloud, right? So Amazon has no trust centers.
True.
We have trust centers, and so. Our pitch is you can come to one of our trust centers. You can see us, you can look us in the eye. You can look at the equipment where your data's sitting. You can pick it up and we can move it over 10 feet if you want. You can't take it out, but you can pick it up and you can move it. You can see it. You can touch it.
I don't want to be in that cage. I want to be in that cage.
Right. And we've had people do that.
That one has a better view.
It's better lighting.
It's cooler over there. That's the bigger one. The air conditioning's better over there.
Every restaurant you go to, there's always a better seat. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. And so that's money's going to go through the same transition data did. At some point, it's going to be data's going to have to be underwritten. The federal government's going to have to do something about all this data theft. They're getting ripped off left and right. I mean, you saw the 20 million records they had stolen. I mean, that's
the OPM. We've talked about that once or twice. Yeah.
Well, that's a big backbone on what you guys are doing too with the data centers. Security is one of the main pillars. I guess talk to me about what you're doing because I think data theft is inevitable. It's just a matter of how paranoid you're going to be to protect yourself. What are you guys taking in terms of measures to lock your stuff down?
So we actually wrap. So the two things that really differentiate us from like an AWS or a lot of the other clouds that are out there: security and compliance, government compliance. So if you're in a regulatory industry, you talking about your wife probably sees HIPAA data all the time. Right?
PCI, things like that. Absolutely.
PCI, credit card data. Another big area. So we actually we offer for all of our customers a suite of security products that they can go everywhere from DDoS, vulnerability testing, down to simple antivirus. And we make it turnkey for them, so they can just literally press a button or say they want it, and we make it easy to do. So, the whole idea of what we're delivering as a service is we have a whole bunch of geeks, right? They're great geeks. We really like them. They're really smart. But you don't have to have your own geeks. You can buy a fraction of every geek that we have when you buy the cloud servers, and you get the security from it.
Partial geeks.
Exactly.
Fractional geeks.
That was the beautiful thing when
timeshare geeking.
Right. Well, that was the beautiful thing when Citrix and Terminal Server came out is you can have one guy now managing 10 locations. So you don't have to hire an IT guy everywhere. It's amazing. You got Nuri sitting to my right that manages how many things for Expedia and how many cities and how many data centers from his house and right down the street. So I mean, it's crazy the amount of the stuff you can do.
People don't want to deal with the infrastructure anymore. They want to. I mean, the real value add is knowing what your customer wants, knowing what to build, knowing how to build it, and delivering the customer the experience they want, all at a profit for you. That's actually pretty hard. That's actually really hard to do.
Well, yeah, because what do customers want? Cheap.
Well,
staunch, reliable.
Well, or do they? I mean, not a Ritz-Carlton customer. I mean, that's the point.
True.
So you do need to know what your customer wants, and dealing with all of the complexities of the security is actually unbelievably complicated, by the way, and it's not getting easier.
Nope.
I guarantee you, the world is not getting more secure from a cyber standpoint. It's never going to be such that you need less security tomorrow than you did today. It's just like storage.
Oh yeah,
CPU, RAM, all that gets consumed. More gets consumed tomorrow than today, because here's the truth is a new attack vector is discovered. Right? You guys all know how that works.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you can stop protecting yourself from all the other ones that
that's just a plus
are still
one
out there.
Yeah,
it's just a plus one. It doesn't ever go down. It's like an arms race.
And there's probably another 5 that you don't know about yet.
Yeah, right.
All in Flash.
Right.
Or Windows.
But they have great maternity leave. They've got,
Good work, Adobe. Good work.
Flash, you're on maternity leave.
Right.
Their security people are.
But no, so, I mean, that is one of the things. I mean, like, so how are, like, I know you guys are doing a lot, obviously, here in Michigan. So, I mean, like, how are companies here dealing with that kind of nonsense? I mean, we've heard about the OPM, which is down in DC. There is the Target hacks. Bob, we laugh at Bob because all the time in 1 year he got 10 different debit cards replaced.
True story.
It's like, how are companies here reacting to that? Because, I mean, it is kind of an old as new thing. Like, I always joke, hey, everybody's all, XML. Okay, well, XML is EDI. Cloud is nothing more than mainframe. It's it's a rebrand and off we go. How are Michigan companies, that some of which can be kind of stodgy in their thinking, how are they reacting and dealing with companies like Online Tech?
You really see we see a whole spectrum of companies, some that are very security conscious, some that are required to be security conscious, others that kind of like, nah, my data isn't valuable until their data gets hacked.
Right.
So we've had some clients that literally haven't done a patch to their servers in 5 years. Oof. And guess what happens, right? We have others that they've said, you know what, we don't even want to be in this business. Online Tech, you manage the patches, you manage the security, you put all that in place. And you mentioned PCI, Nuri, right? PCI, one of the interesting facts is that no set of servers that was fully protected with PCI security has ever been hacked or breached. Target wasn't breached. Even though they had PCI, they weren't breached through the PCI server.
The POS.
It was all the back end.
Yep.
It was all the back end. Actually, it wasn't POS. It was a back end from a supplier system that somebody got in, and they worked their way through. And the firewalls weren't running.
And PCI 3 is terribly difficult. I'm going through that now at work.
It's very extensive.
It is a pain in the ass.
So and PCI 4, guess what? Not going to be easier.
Does a 4 come in?
No. But there will be one, and it's not going to get easier. I guarantee you. It's not going to say, hey, we don't have to worry about
it's
all
not going to be like Windows 10, Mary.
So it took us about 18 months to get all the PCI components behind our cloud. And God knows how many man months behind that. A lot of companies don't want that. They just want to say, you know what, make this go away.
Yeah.
Have companies embraced that, though? Because if you look at probably the biggest problem that you're dealing with, anybody in Michigan being a Fortune 1000, most of them autos are the old legacy systems, the big iron stuff that's still there that they can't. Because it's not like you can just cut and move and start a system from scratch in a perfect world. There's always this crap hanging out.
Still COBOL.
Exactly. Is that the low hanging fruit, like in terms of, or the biggest pains that the customers are dealing with? Is the old stuff, or is it a mix of everything?
All of it. I think what they struggle with sometimes is it's hard to see the value of paying for security. You're like, okay, I'll pay $300 a month to add some security layers to a server that you really, really should be doing. But you don't really see the value. You're like, okay, I didn't get hacked again this month. It's like insurance,
Yeah,
where am I going to get my value?
I'm the same as I was last month. Nothing happened.
Yeah, but I still have insurance on my car.
Yeah.
My house didn't get broken into. I still pay ADT every month.
I've never been in an accident. Why would I need insurance?
That's the biggest challenge to talk about security.
Well, those Wall Street Journal articles on what data breaches cost XYZ Corporation have to be like gold for you guys.
Well, especially nowadays that people are getting prosecuted for them.
Here's the thing that happens in the boardroom. If you look at the balance sheet of every company, including a publicly traded company, you will see on there, as an asset listed, their furniture, down to the dollar. If they showed up tomorrow and all their furniture was gone, they'd probably still be in business.
Yeah.
Their data is nowhere on their balance sheet. If they showed up tomorrow and all the data was gone, or worse yet, somebody else had it and they didn't even know it was gone, So if you're a board member, you buy insurance. I guarantee they have insurance on all the furniture, all the buildings, all the physical assets.
Right.
All kinds of insurance. I bet they know what they spend on security in their buildings. I bet they know why they spend. They see the video cameras. They see the guy standing out front. Security is visible. Physical security is visible. And physical things are visible. And they're on your balance sheet. If you don't put something on a balance sheet, how do you convince the board to spend money to protect it?
No, it's a great point.
Great article in Fortune, just in one of the recent Fortunes about Sony and how they got hacked and how long the hackers were in there. Unbelievable.
Long.
Talk about the assets. Talk about the assets. I mean, you think about everything in media is all data.
Oh yeah.
Right? And
and even it got and in that instance it was the what was it? I think it was like 8 or 9 entire movies that got leaked. Forget about the the embarrassing emails and all that nonsense.
The actors and all
dude, there were spreadsheets that came out with actors, their real names, the fake names they check into under hotels, their SSNs, their phone numbers, their private cell phone numbers, their assistant's phone number. I mean, like all that went out there.
Nowhere did anybody say, "What's this stuff worth to us?"
Well, if you look at
that's why security is hard for people. You know the value of your car, right? And you know the pain if your car's gone tomorrow, stolen, and you got to deal with getting a new car. People relate to that pain. People who haven't been hacked, and I think it's like sailors that have run aground or not run aground.
Yeah, what's it worth to you to not be a headline on CNN?
Exactly. Well. It's going to happen to me.
Right.
Well, Jan, you bring up a good point. And if you look at a board of directors, typically they're comprised of CEOs, ex-CEOs, CFOs.
Finance guys.
Right.
Market guys.
Right. You're not seeing a Dave or a Nuri or a techie,
I'll be honest with you guys, all you tech guys, you don't value data very well either. Or do you value your time? And when it comes to getting boards to sell security, you guys all need to do better at that. Talking about the value of the data and not talking about the technology that's used to protect it and valuing your time. It's not worth your time to spend energy on security and data protection. We really firmly believe, I know a lot of them don't like hearing this, you want to spend your time on understanding what your customers' needs are. Like, they need faster servers. I need to figure out how to do that. And outsource the stuff, because you're never going to stay on top. It's an arms race out there with security. Unless you're really in the business, you're not going to compete, man.
Nope.
You're going to get crushed. And guess who's going to get in trouble when you get crushed? Not the guy on the board.
Yeah, right, you. Or your boss.
So that's my pitch, IT guys.
Where do I sign up?
But that's one of the things, I've been hearing this my whole entire career too, is, security is always based on your level of paranoia. I can walk in.
Well, it's probability versus possibility.
Yes.
Right. But Dave, I can walk into Ford tomorrow and say, hey, I have new compute boxes that give you double the speed and half the footprint and half the power. Sign here, press our 3 copies. Right? and it sells itself. It's done. I'm going to consume half, double speed, less price, buy. Like security, now we got to have a philosophical discussion, right? And I don't know where your head's at in terms of paranoia.
Right.
You could be like, screw it. Or we'll throw a couple net screens on the outside, and that should give us secure. We got one of them firewalls,
Right.
I have those conversations.
Them there one firewall here.
School districts.
We just do everything via URL parameters. We're good. We're totally good.
I call that
as long as it's only the costing, you're fine.
Right.
In HP, I sold infrastructure. We called on school districts, and we're like, "What are you guys doing for security?" You would hear that. I'm talking 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got a firewall.
So kids are actively dialing in and changing their grades, just like they did
with the password pencils.
So, I mean, are you guys planning to get out of or expand outside of Michigan, or is Michigan like you're going to keep building within, or what's long-term plans?
October last year we opened our first data center outside of Michigan.
Okay.
So we opened our 4th one in Michigan, our first one in Indianapolis. So our focus is really the Midwest, the Great Lakes states, and to take what we've done so well here in Michigan and the type of team and company we've built here and expand that across the Midwest. Pretty much focus on the Great Lakes states. Any state that touches the Great Lakes is kind of fair game for us in the next 5 years.
And if I'm a customer somewhere around the United States listening, what advantages do I have by keeping my data in Michigan? Why is Michigan a good place for a data center?
Great question. A lot of people don't know this, but Michigan is the #1 lowest number of major natural disasters of the 48 contiguous states.
Wow.
The only one that's lower of the 50 contiguous states is Alaska, and that's because they have no people there and very few major reasons for major natural disasters.
There's nobody there to record natural disasters, so they may happen. We just don't know.
Well, it's measured by dollars lost, I guess.
Right. It's
So-
the I can see Russia from my house defense.
So they can launch an ICBM at my server.
You know, no earthquakes. When we had Katrina and come up the what was it, Sandy come up we got a lot of people from the East Coast calling us up, going, I had a production site in New York and my disaster recovery was in New Jersey, and guess what? They're both underwater.
Well, I think on top of that, and obviously I'm a homer, been here my whole life, but you look at real estate versus Chicago, and you're buying real estate probably half price versus Chicago, right? So again, it's another great selling point for being here.
You know what's another one? That's a one-time savings you get, but it's cold here in Michigan, and guess what?
Computers like cold.
Yeah.
Computers use a lot of energy to keep them cold.
A lot of energy to keep things cold.
We use technology.
You put them in igloos in the wintertime?
No, I just open the door.
Why not?
Which actually, I guess, would be an argument for moving to Alaska.
Actually, one of the other things that we get a lot of people that, here we don't think about it in Michigan, but we're talking to people on either the coast, the Midwest work ethic, believe it or not. There's something to be said about the Midwest work ethic.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
Andrea, you probably see that, right, in the people that you recruit and where you're coming from. And there's no surf's up dude that goes on. Is that like we're hitting that,
no siestas.
That's
another great day to stay inside and write some code.
I would love to do that morning meeting, dude, but the waves are breaking.
Powder day.
All right.
It's nice out. It's 1 o'clock. I'm out of here.
Or even worse, it's we're on New York time zone.
Yeah.
That's actually really, really helpful because sometimes you can call somebody in California. We have customers in California we can't have early morning meetings with.
Oh, I still have friends on the East Coast that are like,
not up.
dude, how are you on East Coast time? I don't know. Yeah. It just Michigan is.
Because we were smart.
Right.
But how do we, so we find you guys at onlinetech.com.
Onlinetech.com.
If you want to talk to anybody, I guess you guys have full, I know you guys have tons of people to
read in the break right before they came on.
Yeah, I know.
It's all there.
There's a whole bunch of good information, too, up there. So just some really good white papers and stuff.
But you guys have a lot of data sitting out there. I went and poked around a little bit.
The IT guys who I'm an IT background, right? And I struggled also when I trying to pitch to the powers that be, hey, you guys really should be doing this stuff. We have some great content on our site that can help you put that together and describe things like, hey, your security data, your data is not on your balance sheet.
I like when people do my job for
Talk
me.
to your board about that. we love doing people's job for them. That is the business we are in.
No, but it's for me, it's fun. Like we talked earlier, and we'll kind of end on this note. But it's fun seeing these companies that I worked with almost 20 years ago flourishing, growing, being awesome, right? There's probably a handful because I've seen I closed probably more data centers than most sales guys want to admit. All of them sold for $1 or whatever. How it went back then.
Yeah.
But it's great to see you guys. All grows up. It's fun. It'll be fun to watch what you guys do in the future too.
Good, appreciate it. Thanks for what you guys do.
Yeah, so Mike and Jan, Online Technologies. Hopefully, we'll see you guys at the Pink Slip party. You said if you need to hire a couple folks, we might have a couple. A couple of you guys down there.
A lot of hiring, yeah.
But yeah, Online Technologies. Appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'll be back.
And it's onlinetech.com.
Yep. And we'll be back segment 3 with Andrea Kress talking about the job market, tips and tricks on recruiting, interviewing, all that good stuff. This is the IT and the D Show, and we'll be right back.
This show is broadcasting live from Detroit Sound Studios above Activate Gaming and is part of the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
Online Tech is the Midwest leader in secure, compliant, enterprise cloud and colocation hosting services. The company's network of 5 data centers protect mission-critical applications to ensure they are always available, secure, and comply with government and industry regulations. Backed by independent HIPAA, PCI, SOC 2, and Safe Harbor audits, Online Tech delivers exceptional experiences for companies in need of a strategic hosting partner. For more information, call 877-740-5028. Email contactus@onlinetech.com or visit www.onlinetech.com. This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Sponsorship.
So welcome back. Segment 3, episode 104. This is the IT in the D Show. We are hanging out here in the Detroit Sound Studios above Activate Gaming. Proud to be a part of the Podcast Detroit Network. I got that one right.
Really, you're going to get the name that we gave it wrong.
Yeah,
really?
One that I came up with. Find us online, itinthed.com. And you know the rest with the Twitters and the Googles and the we got an app, and we're going to soon get an iOS app that's supposed to be coming out in a couple weeks.
Will it store my fingerprints?
I hope not. Yeah, that's the way you log into our app is give me a fingerprint.
And your credit history so we can be Facebook friends.
But hey, for the last couple of weeks, we've been, this segment, this episode of ITV is actually brought to you by Braintree. If you are working on a mobile app and looking for a payment API, check out Braintree. It's basically the simplest. Instead of going to a remote server, remote host, you're actually putting the code in your application. It's 10 lines of code. Literally takes minutes. They have people that'll help you if you're scared to do it. It supports Android, iOS, JavaScript clients. The SDKs are in 7 languages: .NET, Java, Perl, Python, Ruby. You can accept Apple Pay, Bitcoin, PayPal, Venmo, Amex, Visa, MasterCard, whatever you want. All with a single integration.
Chickens? Can you accept chickens?
In India, I heard that it's acceptable.
This costs 7 chickens.
But Nuri, I heard you were messing around with it actually.
No, totally. I'm basically sick of people like, hey, you bought pizza, can I split that with you? Or want to pay me in different ways. And I've also been kind of wanting to get into iOS dev just a little bit. It's kind of like a
just
side
to play
hobby.
And see what happens.
Totally. So I totally cracked open the beginnings of some iOS development, and I'm going to create, using Braintree, a way for my friends to pay using things like Apple Pay. I think that's the coolest thing. It's a good way to get into iOS development, and also to have all my friends who owe me money give me money.
That's a great idea. You should sell that to your other friends then once you make that.
We'll call it Nuri Pay. It'll be awesome.
Exactly.
And so next week I'll tell you guys how it goes. I'm super excited about having something ready to test.
And I can't wait. He'll want us to send him like $5 just to test it out.
Right. Using the query string.
Right.
And the great thing about Braintree is they give you up to $50,000 of fee-free money sending, right?
Right.
So I don't think collectively everyone I've ever known in my life has ever owed me $50,000. So
you're good.
I'm going to go. So I'm going to give it a whirl and see how it goes.
But if you want to learn more, check them out at braintreepayments.com/IT. It's braintreepayments.com/IT. Can't wait to hear more about the story.
Super stoked.
So hey, this is this your first time on this show, Andrea?
It is.
It is my first time.
We have been friends with you forever, and you are one of our rock star recruiters. And for the first time, took 104 episodes 2 years later. But we have Andrea Kress here from the artist formerly known as CompuWare, currently Lockbridge.
True story.
Is there a symbol?
Right.
Kind of.
But welcome, and we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
So, so you've been in and around the IT industry through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the resurgence. So, what are you seeing from your world? I mean, what are you looking for? What are you seeing the demand coming in for, as far as the Metro Detroit IT area?
God, Detroit, specifically the city of Detroit, is booming so much. There's so many companies, startup companies. It's kind of the cooler thing for developers to get involved in, and that's a challenge for my hiring needs. But we've been in business for 42 years. We're still doing professional services. We have our advanced solutions group that I'm looking to hire quite a bit of mobile people, big data. So we're still at the forefront of all the newest and greatest and latest technologies, with an established name, with over 4 decades of success. So it's but it's a hot market right now. There's a lot of people that are going more independent, 1099, especially in the mobile app world. They don't want to join.
Well, because they're the Java developers from 1998, 1999 that they can.
Yep.
I mean, that's there's such a huge demand. I don't want to hire in somewhere. I want to hire in. I want to take jobs from 3 different places and work on them at my leisure. Yeah.
Yep. Except, when you come on to a company like ours, we have the infrastructure, we have the talent, we have the clients, we have the whole package. So you get a lot of... There's a balance of people just
there's always a trade-off,
getting into mobile app development, and then us that we've been doing this for years. 4, 5 years.
Just a few.
Just a few.
So what have you seen? Like, what have you seen though in particular that's changed? I mean, it's you've been downtown, for a while now. So I mean, what have you what do you see that's there now that wasn't there, say 2, 3, 5 years ago, other than Quicken?
Young professionals. There's a lot of young professionals. There's apartment complexes that we know around the Metro Detroit area that's down there, Village Green. I relocate so many people to Michigan from other states.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Most of my people are not from Michigan that I'm hiring.
Is that a hard sell to be like, hey, move to Michigan, we've got a great job for you? Are people
ignore everything you read on CNN about Detroit?
Yeah,
come here.
it used to be that they thought it was like the Matrix, just bullets flying everywhere in Detroit, which is totally not the case.
So you're telling me you can dodge bullets?
Yeah, well, me personally, yeah. But
I'm telling you won't have to.
There is no spoon.
But I think that with all of the big name companies moving down, there's just, CompuWare was the first company to really start that revolution, and it's just taken off from there. Every day, every week, we're seeing new companies move down on Woodward, and you got the Barbados store, you've got Wright & Company.
Who doesn't need a $75 T-shirt?
Made in the Philippines, right?
Right.
So, is it an easier sell? Even for we've talked with a lot of people that for years they couldn't get people to take a gig downtown.
It is easier
is that
now.
An easier sell now?
Yeah, it is much easier now. Knowing that the demographic is young professionals, I think that makes people feel a lot more. Excited to move down there.
I judge based on the traffic on 75 going south. When I have 8 o'clock meetings, you go down there every day. But now that there's traffic, business must be good downtown. Because I remember in 2008, there was no traffic in the morning.
Oh yeah, Rochester Hills to Detroit, 20 minutes.
Right. Right.
Now, yeah, it ain't happening.
It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours for me, one way.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, depending on the day. Oh yeah.
That's insane.
And sometimes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It depends on the shenanigans happening on 75. Every day's different. But I found many different ways to get down
because every day
there.
brings new idiots on the road. That's how that works.
Right.
So what would you've got the background and the experience. What would you tell people looking to either break into IT or break into the Metro Detroit area? When you're talking with people who want to relocate here, what are the key things you're telling them to have in mind and do?
Well, for one, I'll get to that question. There's a lot more high schools that are getting kids into technology than there ever were when I was in high school. So that's already prompting people to do that within college. So that number one is get your training, get your education. And I think more and more people are getting into IT from that regard. But I don't know, find your passion. I talk to a lot of new grads that don't even know what they want to do. They go from web development to they're JavaScript, which goes hand in hand,
Right.
.NET, SharePoint. I had there's actually a guy that we're hiring that I recruited from your event, actually. And yeah, he's great. But I get on the phone with him, and
he never said thank you. See, Dave? Jeez.
Thank you, fellas.
I'm just kidding.
But no, he was, my first conversation with him, he had no idea what he wanted to do. And have a target and go. Otherwise, you look kind of scatterbrained.
Oh, mother of God! If we had $1 for every time we told somebody just have a focus, it's not.
Pick a horse.
It's not. I do everything. I don't. It's not. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I think that was my first IT resume. Was here are all the things that I can do. Windows 95 and Windows 98. And basically, I created 8 different resumes. This is my DBA resume. This is my Exchange resume. This is my NT resume. And then all of a sudden, I started getting calls.
Yeah.
Totally.
Which, don't get me wrong, if you have a combination, especially development and testing, that's great.
Right.
But completely different skill set for both.
Listing Microsoft Word on your resume, probably not a good idea anymore.
It'd make me punch.
So, Andrea, I got to ask you, you network as much as we do, if not more. You're a regular fixture at every single one of our events, like clockwork. We've been writing Don't Be That Guy blogs, for the better part of 8-9 years. What's some of the stuff, as far as tips and tricks in building relationships, what's the worst things you've seen, or what, again, is it what Neri just said about, hey, I'm everything to everyone? What's the best way to kind of convey who you are?
Tell your story. I mean, tell your story, what classes you took, what you liked, what you want to do, the jobs you loved, the jobs you hated.
Without being horribly overly negative.
Well, right. You don't want to be overly negative, but talk
You know how
about.
hard that is to say, the jobs you hated. That's a tough conversation.
Well, and I work that into my conversations with those I'm looking to recruit because I want to know, what their challenges were and how they overcame them. It's okay to have challenges. It's okay to have bad experiences. Is what you did to get over it and where you grew from there. But those that can show me that are excited and they have a passion for it, that goes so far.
And not saying I have a passion for it because that's one of my pet peeves. Like, I hear it all the time. Like, can you help me get into sales? Why? Because I'm passionate about it. Like, oh.
buzzword.
You haven't been a
passion.
salesperson.
If you have to tell somebody.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about people that can show me their portfolio, their work, and the groups that they're engaged with, and even just the people coming to your events. There's regulars every month. So those are the people that I take serious.
But you can tell when somebody's into something. Like, there's certain times in my life where when I'm talking to somebody about something, my eyes light up. I'm banging on the table, and I'm so pumped about this.
Smiling ear to ear.
Yeah, and that doesn't, like I said, what you do doesn't get you up in the morning, you're in the wrong line of work. I don't care what it is. That's my biggest thing. Have conviction of what you want to do.
You don't wake up and read inspirational quotes, Bob?
No.
On Facebook?
I wait to find. No, I wait till someone posts one, and then I decide if I want to work or not. Then I see one, and I'm like, oh, sunrise meme with a Nietzsche quote. I want to work today. Stupid.
Or a straight out of blank meme.
Right.
Straight out of pens. He's funny.
But I can tell you the things that will immediately get me to not continue working with someone is they're salary focused and, especially, using LinkedIn to recruit people. That's one of the first things. Well, how much does this job pay?
Right.
I had 20 words to you, and now you want me to give you a salary, and I haven't even
Yeah, you don't even know what it is
right,
yet. Yeah.
right. So we're all money focused, but that comes when you have the experience. It's being focused on what you can do and the benefit of the candidate and company coming together, making magic.
But I mean, that's one of the drawbacks of, like you were just saying, recruiting via LinkedIn. I mean, that's not it's not a personal relationship. It's not that's the entire point of, events like ours where you're not that, hey, you want to buy some windows cold call. I mean, because it should be more about the relationship and the fit and the right role as opposed to, hey, found your profile on LinkedIn. You look like you might be a fit for something. Let's chat. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the Tinder of the business world at this point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you reminded me of something. When I talk to people that actually know what Lockbridge does, that's a huge, huge bonus. Right. I mean, we've only been called Lockbridge for maybe a year, but we've been in the market for 42 years. So if you actually did your research, the key players in our business, I mean, that is the number one most impressive thing that'll get a conversation kicked off with me.
So answer me this, and I get this all the time, and Davey, I know you get hit by recruiters, and Nuri and I do too. It's funny, like if you approach me, Andrea, is it the ball in my court after you kind of say, hey, we might be interested in you, or do you have to chase me? Because there's a lot of times, like I just got a phone call, and then he sends me all this stuff like to fill out, and like all these forms and like all these things, and then he expects me to chase. I'm like, no, you're chasing me.
That's an aggressive approach, which I don't do.
Mine. I mean, I'm just saying if you.
Why would you fill out forms?
I didn't.
Why?
I didn't.
No.
Well, that person doesn't know what they're doing.
Text the word job.
You got
45455.
You got to develop a rapport and relationship if you want to get to that level. And I mean, when I'm working with more senior level, VP level, I don't get to that point. I think I approach each recruit individually and work with them and their personality. I get what I want eventually. There's a different method to it.
It's amazing.
It was coming.
No, it's amazing. The good recruiters are all, like everyone we talk to that's successful and that's been for a while, is all relationship focused. They're not banging the phones and sending the forms and, getting the piles of resumes, right? They're doing it the right way.
Right.
Well, and we hire everybody full-time direct. So these become my coworkers. I'm asking someone to quit their job for us, right? So I want to make sure that it's the right opportunity and it's the right match on both sides.
It's very Jerry Maguire. Thank you, Jan.
Who's coming with me?
So would you say LinkedIn is your biggest target right now, or what's the weight on having like a resume on Monster or things like that? Where is LinkedIn where you're doing all your sourcing from?
My company in Lockbridge, not mine, but Lockbridge invests in the LinkedIn recruiter seat, which it allows me to open some doors that the other accounts won't allow you to. So I can have those conversations with people. I think that's my favorite, what we use. I think posting your resume, I think a lot less people are doing that now. Any HR company can find your resume online. They know you're looking. So most people don't want to do that.
Totally.
I have a huge network. And I think that's one of the best things that I have above any job board. But yeah, I mean, we've got our job posting, our website. I mean, there's definitely tools that we have, but I would say LinkedIn is probably my favorite.
So about LinkedIn, I'm starting to get pissed off about this because every time I log into LinkedIn, post the first word you see. Or Jody's father has 5 daughters. What are their names?
Yeah.
Are those the kind of things as a recruiter you're going to say, I want to kill those people? Would you say that as a recruiter? Or would you instantly I'm not looking at your resume anymore. I'm not looking at your LinkedIn.
It's an instant turnoff. Yeah.
Everyone, take note. Do not repost that shit.
It should just be used for professional uses.
Memes are for Facebook, not for LinkedIn.
It's for your living room, not your office.
Right. And not even professionals. It's the fraction of professionalism because you'd print that meme and put it in your cube if you're at work. Don't do it on LinkedIn.
Right.
Right.
And that's the funny thing. We talked about that earlier. You can post on Twitter 32 times a day. You can post on Facebook maybe twice. Like if you post on LinkedIn more than twice a week, you're that guy. Like the guy that I ran into at the networking event going, you
fill up my feed
you are my
every
feed.
day.
Will you stop it? And he looks at me like this blank look. I go, it's not Twitter. Knock it off.
See, I've actually turned off updates. So it's like when I publish an episode of the show, it doesn't update my network because I don't want to be that guy on LinkedIn. I want to keep it strictly business, and I don't want to spam basically everybody I know.
Right.
Useless crap.
That's the right approach.
So our show's useless crap. Good to know.
Ding. I did not say that.
Got your business cards today.
LinkedIn's evolved quite a bit. You guys used to have the jobs tab and events tab. I miss those.
Jobs tab's still there.
Or the events tab, I'm sorry.
Events, I miss
Well,
that.
yeah, they took it away.
Yeah.
Which was dumb.
And Meetup said, thank you.
Right.
Oh, totally.
That was the it still doesn't make any sense why it's part of business is like what was the worst thing why would they have pulled that plug? It could not have been like a storage hog or anything. It still makes no sense.
No, because Meetup and Facebook events basically both just said thank you, have a nice day, we're happy to see you go, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot.
I don't get. Like LinkedIn owns all the people. I still don't understand it. Like there needs to be a LinkedIn killer. Someone's got to do something better.
Yeah, you own all the people, own all the meetups, and carry on.
Yeah. So in terms of so we met you at a networking event.
Mm-hmm.
We got past. I mean, how do you I guess what's a take home for how do I absolutely kill an interview other than knowing the company, being passionate, eyes open, right? I want this gig. This is my dream job. I guess what's the secret sauce, or is there one?
Personality. I mean, that wins every time with me. It's so easy to be
incredibly prevalent in the IT industry too.
I mean, it's so easy to be nervous in an interview. I mean, we're prone to, college years of having to pass tests. Now you're sitting in front. I mean, it's a nerve-wracking situation. But if you can relax and draw a connection with who you're at any time, not even just an interview, but draw a connection with someone, that's the start of it.
Well, how tough is that in the IT world? Because you look at, it's to say that the IT industry is more majority introvert. I don't even know what I'm saying.
It's tough. No, it is. And there's so many positions within Lockbridge that you have to be client interfacing. I can't.
Right.
If you're going to be an introvert, I can't put you in front of a client. So there's really top tier talent that we look for.
Can be in the basement coding. And,
yeah.
I was in the car with my best friend actually just the other day talking about it, and I've been a hiring manager before, and I don't hire based on your skill set. I base number one.
Teach you skills.
Number one, your cultural fit. Number two, your personality. Number three, your skill set. Because if you're a dick that knows everything, I still don't want you on my team.
Yeah.
What'd you call it, Dave? The beta fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only have one per tank. That's all there is to it. Because if you put a second one in, they kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, I want to make sure we do have a phone in coming in the next segment. So I want to make sure we hit our break. We will come back and talk more with Andrea. We've got the good folks of the Windsor Comic Con calling in to talk to us.
Be a surprise.
All the way from Canada?
Oh,
I
published
it in the thing today.
Fine.
But Canada's so far away.
Yeah, exactly. It's so far away. It's South Detroit. So, Andrea, we will come back and talk with you more in the next segment. So let's hop away for a few.
This is the IT and the D Show, and we will be right back.
This show is broadcasting live from Detroit Sound Studios above Activate Gaming and is part of the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT and the D. All you nerds out there.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Welcome back. This is episode 104. This is the fourth segment. We have a special call-in guest. We have Steve here, who is the proprietor and owner of the Windsor Comic Con, or the South Detroit Comic Con, as we like to know it. But Steve, we appreciate you coming on, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, it's excited to be here. I feel like I'm covering up two countries in one call.
Yeah, exactly. You get so basically, why don't you fill in everybody for obviously we know the Motor City Comic Con and Fanfare and a few other ones. What's going on? What's going on in Windsor next weekend?
Well, we're doing Windsor Comic Con, so it's the first time we've brought a full blown Comic Con to the Windsor market. They've been great 1 day shows, but we were really up in the bar on this one. So we're going full blown with a full on guest list on the celebrity side, a tremendous comic book guest list, some really great voice actors, and then all kinds of awesome cosplay and Batmobiles and beers with Norm and all the exciting stuff you could hope for in a con.
No, so I mean, for me, I've never been to a con outside the country. Is it just about as crazy in Windsor as it is over here in terms of everybody dressing up and basically the geek factor? Is it pretty much the same as over here, or is there any key differences that you see between the two?
It absolutely is. It really is what I like to say. It's a psychographic. I mean, your cosplayers and comic book fans and geeks have more in common with our brethren south or north of the border, in this case, as they do with any other group. So yeah, it's a lot of the same kind of stuff, and there's been just tremendous growth in the whole Comic-Con space, for the last number of years. Everybody's loving it, and geeks are taking over the world.
Yeah, I'm going to say, you're taking over Caesars Windsor. That's pretty damn close. So who are some of the bigger names that I can expect to see or get an autograph from when I'm there?
Well, you'll get to connect with Giancarlo Esposito, who is obviously a fan favorite on so many levels, but
right.
Complete with box cutters and all. Brian Hurst, obviously Sons of Anarchy, and Remember the Titans, for those of you that go a little bit further back. We have Marina Sirtis of Star Trek TNG fame. Ray Park, best known as Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, absolutely.
Yeah. We've got Norm from Cheers making a pretty rare guest appearance. Yeah, we're going to do a special Beers with Norm event with George, actually. We've got Michael Cudlitz of Walking Dead fame. And then we've got just a real kick-ass comic guest list as well. We've got legendary Bill Sienkiewicz, who's one of my favorites, a true artist. We've got local and North American global favorite David Finch and his wife Meredith. And then we've got a full roster of guys like Francis Mampole and Ramon Perez, Brian Stegman. Just a real solid list. We've got family voice stars Yuri Lowenthal and his wife Tara Platt. We've got Vic Mignogna, a Full Metal Alchemist, and then I couldn't do justice without talking about our headliner Kevin Smith.
I was going to say. So I know one of the big draws is Saturday Night with Kevin.
Yeah, you know what, and it's pretty much sold out, and there's just there's super huge excitement over Kevin, and for good reason. I mean, he's an entertainer in the truest sense. So very much looking forward to hearing him.
We may or may not have been tweeting him daily on who we have to murder to get him on our podcast, but I'll leave it there.
Yeah, he's a tough one. You know what? But face thing.
Well, he's only
that-
got, 9 different podcasts of his own and movies he's working on
Right.
and shows he has. And yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't slow down a whole bunch, but yeah, you know what? It's been great. There's so much. He's such incredible, authentic celebrity for this audience.
So it's going to be
We're
August 15th and 16th at Caesars Windsor. Obviously, you gotta, if you're on the Michigan side, you need a passport or an enhanced license. If you're on the Canada side, obviously it's an easy jaunt. Obviously, we're used to going to Novi and we have to get there at 8 in the morning because they basically shut down the highway. It's a good thing you're downtown and it's a quick little easy little turn in. So are you guys taking over the convention center there, or what's the layout look like at Caesars?
Yeah, well, Eddie Caesars is a pretty cool venue. It's not as big as Novi, but it's a great venue, and it's perfect for a show of this size and the first year. We're pretty much taking all the space they could give us, but it's a great environment. Great, the hotel's right there. Phenomenal ballrooms, and the Coliseum is where the main show is going to be. So all the celebrities are on the main stage. If anybody gets tired and they want a break, nice quiet spot next door in the casino, and you can go and fly your wares in there.
When you're tired of losing all your money on the dealer floor, you can go ahead and lose your money in the casino.
Fortune.
So, for those that, I'm assuming you're past the advanced ticket sale window. Like, how is it, can I show up and get tickets? Can I, what are tickets going to cost me to get in? You mentioned the thing Saturday night with Kevin was pretty much sold out. So, what can people do to get in?
And even if I want a room, is Caesars sold out, or do you have second hotels and third hotels?
That's probably pretty tough because they're selling out most weekends in the summer, but I think there are still maybe a few rooms, and then some of the others you might have to take a ferry across to to get here and avoid the lineups. I mean, I was in Novi too, and it was a killer show. So will we have Novi crowds? No, I don't think so. But we're tracking really well in advanced ticket sales. There will be tickets available on site, and it's pretty much a walk-on for the Americans with a 25% exchange rate. You guys are going to be making a killing up there.
It's like the old days ago to the casino where you hit the exchange store and you instantly feel like a winner.
Exchange rate was 50% when I was.
I know.
When I was 19, exchange rate was 50%. It's getting back. That's great news.
Well, except for the Canadians.
No, it's crazy.
So
tickets are available Saturday at $25, Sunday at $20. Of course, that's Canadian dollars, and then there's a weekend pass for $39. There are still a few general admission seats left for Kevin, $35, and worth every penny. Beers with Norm, there's still some opportunities available. I'll be lining up for that one.
I'll start drinking for that one.
So now the ticket prices. I mean, is it like Motor City like we're used to, where so the autographs and all that stuff are in addition to the ticket prices? I mean, should people come ready to spend some more money when they get there?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is it's actually a pretty fair event, especially if you're bringing families. So we have kids under 12 for free. So family of 4 or whatever can come in with free kids. There's free parking here at the casino, which is another bonus. But yeah, it's pretty standard in terms of the Comic-Con model, so that photo ops and autographs are on top of that. And no doubt you'll see a few things that you need to have for your collection on the show floor, and some killer artists in the Artist Alley. And so we'll help part with your money if that's your challenge.
All right, so where do people website? Where do people go to find out more information if they're looking to head over there this weekend?
Yeah, Windsor Comic-Con. Comic-Con spelled COMICON.com. It's Windsor Comic-Con. The Batmobile 66 Batmobile will be there.
Cool.
So yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, appreciate calling in on last minute. I know we just set this up this morning, but we appreciate your time, and we will definitely see you. If we see you on Saturday, we'll pat you on the shoulder and shake your hand.
Yeah, track me down, and we'll see if we can sneak you in to see Kevin before he goes on stage.
Oh, sweet. In that case.
Bring your recorder.
Oh, yeah, we have it.
Done.
Yeah. Coincidence. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for dialing in.
Steve, Windsor Comic-Con. we'll be there this weekend, August 15th, 16th, over at Caesars Windsor. And looking forward to looking forward to see how the Canadians do things.
Yeah, no, very cool. That was great for I appreciate the call in. It's another new con, and we are getting hit with more and more of those these days that we're going to go to.
And that price, holy cow, think about what Motor City costs. That's disgustingly cheap, plus the exchange rate. I mean, and it's so easy to cross the border. I mean,
yeah, you figure, $40 exchange rate, that's $30. That's not even a one-day ticket at Motor City. Yeah.
Free parking.
And it's at a damn casino, so it's not going to... It might smell like vanilla Roma when you walk in, but other than that, it's going to be at least a nice place.
And Kevin Smith,
Norm's there.
That's nuts. Norm's there. I was thinking as soon as he said that, like, what do I have him sign? Do I grab like a Boomba? Or do I like a beer, like a 40-ounce of Schlitz? Like, what do I have him sign?
Liquor bottle.
Liquor. I mean, everything. Sign all the things.
Yeah. What do I have George Wendt sign? You have to go back to like all the obscure movies he's been in and find something.
Oh God. Well, no. What's his name? That was in Ratsburg. That was in Empire Strikes Back from Cheers.
Right.
Have him sign. Well, they still make those dolls now for Cheers fans, but George Wendt. That's classic right there. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So what in the world else is going on in the wonderful world of IT and the D?
We touched briefly back in the meeting. It's worth mentioning again. We've got our event next Thursday down at Hopcat. We'll be upstairs in the Hoomer Room. Should be a good time. Always a good turnout. We had a great time there back in May, and then we've got our the Pink Slip Party right around the corner in September, which all the usual chaos and mayhem that goes along with that. So,
which I'm so excited about. I've already started planning my set for that night in September, so I'm super stoked.
Oh, see, you need to bring a Bears hat to have George Wendt sign.
Oh, there you
Son
go.
of a bitch. Nailed it.
Big guy.
I hate the Bears, but that would be amazing. I'm just saying.
The Bears.
That's one of my favorite Mark stories is he had Brian's song, the movie Gale. So he had a Gale Sayers, like Chicago Bears helmet, and he wanted Billy D. Williams to sign it. And like Mark would have thought, he would have looked up and said, "Wow, this is pretty cool, signing Gale Sayers' helmet." And wow, Billy just looks down, signs it, and pushed it to the left and didn't say a word. He's like, come on! And
how do you not even appreciate that? Yeah,
it's amazing though that like the expectations we have, like it's not good enough that you sign my crap. Like you need to acknowledge me. You need to make believe that
that you care.
That I'm
the first one that ever did it.
Right, I'm the only one you're dating. Because then you got like Andrew. The problem is, see, here's the fine line. They like the Andrew McCarthy's of the world, where you have these expectations that all you had to do was shake my hand and say, "Nice to meet you guys," and instead you're a dick. And now I hate you, and I never really liked you to begin with.
I hate everything about you,
right?
And I'll never watch Weekend at Bernie's again.
No, I never watched it. I hated the movie anyway. But the problem is they don't, and I understand. But you go to a Comic-Con,
right?
And like the clown, the Mark Zuckerberg, what the hell's his name, Jesse Eisenberg, comparing a Comic-Con to the Holocaust. And it's like, what? Dude, really?
Oh, yeah, he backpedaled off that one quickly.
Oh, as he should, for crying out loud. But, like, it's not that bad. Like, just suck it up, Buttercup, for 2 days for the love of all that's good and holy.
For the $20 per handshake that you're going to get.
Sign and smile and shut the...
You're dropping 10, you're getting 10 G's to sign...
To show up, plus...
Paper.
Yeah.
Right, and then people are going to buy you drinks, and you're going to have to tell your story, and you're going to have to tell your catchphrase from a movie in 1986. Good. Do it.
That's right. Be William Hung, sing She Bangs, and move on.
Right. Rocket Man, I like that one better from him. But it's still, like, again, if you, like, the closest I came to being in that was walking around with Rhino on opening day. It was a WWE wrestler. And, like, I talked to him about it. Like, I go, you had, like, 1,000 people scream effing Rhino all day. Does that drive you nuts? He goes, I love it. He goes, you know what drives me nuts? The guy that says, remember that one time 15 years ago when I bumped into you at Kroger and Halstead? And like, no, I don't. Like,
no, and I never will, and sorry.
You're buying tofu and peppers and...
Right, yeah. It's got to be pretty cool when people are like, hey, I'm an awesome fan. Like, cool, thank you. My livelihood, basically, you paid for my livelihood.
Right.
Like, say the damn phrase, kid. Like, if I want you to say wax on, wax off Ralph Macchio, you effing do it, and you like it.
Shut up and dance.
Right.
That's right, dance, monkey boy.
Right. For the love of God. So, yeah, I mean, but I think, like, if you look at the lineup, like, those are going to be the cool people. There's no one there that you go, like, I never expected Jimmy Walker to be a dick.
Yeah.
Like you'd think he'd be the happiest man on the planet. Like people like me still, right?
I'm still relevant 30 odd years after I've been on the
But like the Windsor comment, the lineup though looks like everyone should be like, you have the Breaking Bad guys and the Sons of Anarchy guys. Those guys are always pretty low key and cool because they know that's a short term gig and they need to work again.
Right. So be nice to the fans, love the fans, have the fans demand me come back for other things.
So probably be on True Detective next season. And I'm not going to watch if you're a dick.
And the one thing, of course, that is the source of every migraine that I have right now is our network. So Podcast Detroit, we launched 3 weeks ago with, so 4 weeks ago, it was just us sitting in our shiny, happy new studio, and life was great, and we had our own little man cave, and it was all good. And then a couple other people said, hey, you guys are jerks. You've got that whole studio and a 24/7 stream, and you're using it for like 2 hours a week. And I want to do a show, and you should let me do a show. And so then we had them, and then we assimilated a network, and now all of a sudden we have 21 shows that are getting ready to roll every day except for Saturday Live so far.
Not including what we're syndicating from people that want to be on the network.
And the other 8 or 10 that we haven't even put out live yet. So give a look over at podcastdetroit.com. We've got a couple of shows out there. Everything from, us and the usual geek nonsense, a couple other geek shows, artists, we've got musicians, we've got
relationship advice.
Oh yeah, Greg's got his thing going. I mean, it's going to be an interesting ride for the next couple months, as this all shakes out.
My only advice for you, Dave likes to
start drinking heavily.
No, delegate. You like to do all the things yourself because it's done right. You need to start teaching people. That's my only advice. It's going to be an awesome ride, and I can't wait to see how this thing shakes out. But start training people. That's all and not me.
And not you. Yeah, nice. Thanks for the help, Bob.
Anytime. You know where I'll be.
I'm there for you. I'm just not here in the studio.
Right.
But I'm there for you.
I got your back way back.
But yes, I mean, I guess that's all the news that's fit to print in our world. I mean, we've got our events, we've got our show, we've got our network, we've got the usual fun and mayhem that we always have going on. But it's going to be an interesting couple of months.
And the countdown clock is on. Do you know what for?
You drinking?
Blade Runner 2.
Yes.
I wasn't counting.
I did see that's coming.
2019. Are they going to is it going to be done for like 2019?
Well, so 2019 was the year
right
in the movie, so it would make sense if they had it. And
Beijing looks like Blade Runner now.
It does. And I'm not going to
If you haven't seen picture, Google Beijing Blade Runner. I'm sure they're tagged that way.
Yeah,
it's insane what it looks like with the
plumes of smoke
and all
and the fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to see how they do it because I mean there's no way you can do a sequel without answering the big, ugly, hanging question, was Deckard a replicant? And so that's been the debate that's gone on since the movie came out.
It needs to be a continuation. Please don't redo it. I'm begging you. I know you're listening. Whoever's writing it.
Well, no. Apparently, Harrison Ford is in it,
but it needs to be a continuation.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. If he's a replicant, he wouldn't have aged.
No, not true.
How the hell are you going to age?
Because, that was the
whole...
Like
the Terminator. How's the Terminator age when he's a damn cyborg?
That was the whole thing.
Stupid.
That was the whole thing with the Nexus 6 series was supposed to be closer to being human, and they did age. And
Toilet.
They did.
All right. So I've never seen Blade Runner. Are we talking about that Italian guy with the blades on his legs that killed his wife?
No.
What?
Are you kidding me?
I've seriously never seen Blade Runner.
You're watching it this weekend.
This is gonna be your Godfather. Like,
really?
I didn't let up on Bob until when Bob admitted he never saw The Godfather, that became a weekly topic of conversation. Oh, you're watching Blade Runner.
Okay.
I have,
buy it.
3 different DVD copies of it.
So you can lend me one, right?
Of it. Absolutely.
Buy it. Cheap ass. Lend me. Library here. Jesus.
It's on the torrents.
Yeah, you watched you stole a movie you admitted on podcast net.
I think that was on a break, but okay.
Never mind that. I heard nothing.
And neither did my ISP.
But hey, I guess are we going to wrap things up? Go to itandthed.com. We'll see you at our events. We'll see you at the Pinkster party. We'll see you next week. drink up all your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
Well, and so we didn't hit. So Andrea, where do we find your stuff?
At our event.
Where do we find you? Other than he can always find her stuff at our event. But no, how do we find you online?
You can email me at andrea.kress@lockbridge.com. And that's
Kress.
Kress, and it's also LOCHBRIDGE.
It's a lock, like the old locks.
And go onto our website.
Loach Bridge.
We recently redesigned it, and it's still a work in progress, but there's a lot of information on there, too. There is a career tab, so you can see all the openings. I'm hiring a lot of people. I need a mobile architect if anyone wants to work with me. And I need a lot of business intelligence developers right now. Amongst other things, we have a new grad program. That program starts August 24th. So anybody with 2 years or under and a degree that wants to work in Detroit, come find me, too.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And be ready to start working August 24th. We'll have another class in January.
2 weeks of freedom, yeah.
No, we're going to do this every quarter.
Okay.
But the next one kicks off in 2 weeks, and then after that will be January. So we'll be
degree in under. Oh wait, you've had your degree less than 2 years ago. That's the rule.
No, less than 2 years of experience. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Well, yeah, like we said, that wraps up the show. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, the guys at Online Technologies. We'll put everything in the recap online and in the Twitters. Again, like I said, get your phone numbers, drink your drinks. Don't got to go home. But you got to get the hell out of here. This is the IT and the D show because we are IT and the D, and you
still are not.
Still aren't.
Still trying,
but
time.
No. Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with that,
Get a
Skippy.
business card. Yeah.
All right. See you next week, everybody.
See you. Beat it.
Bye, guys.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run. Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe the cheese.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.